It's Caucus Eve. I get a little bit excited for this every 2 years. As long as I can remember, I participated in just about every possible way in our Utah Republican caucuses. Utah has a very unique system wherein the political parties nominate candidates to appear on your ballots. This typically starts tomorrow night. You're probably seeing this actually the day of caucus. So Tuesday night, neighborhoods, they're called precincts, but generally, in my case, about 8 residential neighborhood blocks make up a precinct. So we will meet as a precinct, we'll meet as neighbors, and we get to discuss politics. Somewhere along the line, we were taught that politics did not make for polite conversation. Well, tomorrow night, you get to talk politics with your neighbors, and it really is a fantastic opportunity. So you'll talk about some of the issues. There'll be a program that starts generally with a prayer and a pledge and a reading of the Republican Party platform. I think that's important. So sometimes we kind of can remember what our principles are as Republicans. It's an opportunity to kind of affirm our principles about government and some of our policy positions. So what we'll do from there is then we'll elect delegates that will represent us to a convention that will be a couple weeks later from that. During the meantime, and this is important to know in case you've never been a delegate and you might be interested, you don't have to have any particular qualifications, because the next couple weeks you're going to do a deep dive into the issues, into the candidates, and they're going to come to you frequently in your own living room if you'd like that, or you might meet them at events and at different campaign events. This is such an amazing participation opportunity, right down to a couple of neighborhood blocks. It really is phenomenal. It's how Utahns really get up close with their elected officials and that extra layer of accountability. I think the caucus convention system has served our state very well, and I've enjoyed being in the position of holding my elected officials accountable, and I like the opportunity to stand before delegates and other constituents and be held accountable for the work I've done in the last 2 years, and I'm asking you for another 2 years. And but this year I'm running unopposed on the Republican ticket, so I'll still be out. I'll still be knocking doors, making phone calls, showing up at meetings, so I can still get to know you and hear from you and be held accountable. I do have opponents in the general election from other parties, so I am encouraging you to participate in your Republican caucuses tomorrow night and participate in the process. It's fascinating. It's a privilege, both as an American and as a Utah citizen, to participate in this process. Keep watching. I'm going to throw up a couple of email address or websites, and also a quick 1-minute training video about the caucus system if you want to participate, if you want to run for one of the several positions that will be elected for. Again, you don't have to have any particular qualifications. You just have to be willing to serve your precinct, to serve your neighbors in this capacity, and the rest will kind of come to you. So hope to see you out tomorrow night.
Once every 2 years, the Utah Republican Party holds an evening event where neighbors meet to elect members of their community to represent their neighborhood. These neighborhoods are called precincts. Your precinct's caucus meeting is typically run by your neighbors who were elected at the previous caucus meeting. These neighborhood leaders are called precinct officers and are typically made up of a precinct chair and vice chair. Some precincts have secretaries, treasurers, and election judges as well. The meeting begins with a prayer, the Pledge of Allegiance, a review of the Utah Republican Party platform, and an overview of the caucus rules. After the opening, you move on to the business of the meeting. The business of the meeting will include electing new precinct officers along with state and county delegates. Other votes may be taken as well, depending on the political cycle. These elected positions have an enormous amount of influence on the way Utah functions. Each position has different responsibilities, but all represent your neighborhood. Although the length of each individual precinct meeting may vary, it is important to remember that it is your meeting. Your preparation and attentiveness will cultivate a successful and efficient caucus experience. For more information on elected positions and best practices when attending your caucus meeting, please click on the link provided.